Hello, this is Dave over here at Moonride, and I am channeling here from Golden Gate Park, one of my favorite places on the planet. As you can see, the beautiful sunny San Francisco weather is present. This is just a typical day in San Francisco if you've ever been here. Some people have asked me questions about Putin, and that's what I am going to channel on today. The questions are, when will Putin leave? And what will Putin do about the next election? So, sorry about the funny camera angle, but I just had to put this laptop on a lug. I want you to notice my new microphone here, everyone, so hopefully you can hear me a good deal better. Let's ask the first question, Great Spirit. What about Putin? And when will Putin leave? Okay, so interesting image that I'm getting with Putin. Sometimes you see those old people on two-wheeled machines so that they can walk. I'm actually seeing Putin on that, type of. I'm just getting the impression that that kind of machine is indicating to me that he'll be there till he is very old. And as I see him, as I look at him, he does. Like, I know he doesn't have hair, but I see his hair getting, like, grayer and grayer and whiter and whiter. Let's see. Anything else about Putin and when he will leave? And let's even ask, why will Putin leave? Is there any reason? So I'm seeing Putin's death. I'm seeing that there's like kind of a battle as he approaches death. A lot of people vying for power. I do not think Putin will leave of his own accord. I think that it'll be death. I do see that there is a battle on his way out. It's interesting. This machine that Putin's is almost like a lawnmower, or he's sort of on a two-wheeled device. I don't know what that means, and I just see the grass is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So I feel almost like he'll work the economy of the poor, and they'll just get poorer and poorer and poorer. And these, next to where the land is being mowed are these tall grass, while his friends get richer and richer and richer. And I see him as almost cunning, almost very cunning, but blasé, like, I'm not worried about anything in terms of my leaving. But something will happen, actually. I do see a knife in his back. I'm getting the impression that the differences in wealth and poverty will be huge, will be great enough to disturb people, and someone is going to put a knife in his back. I see, it looks like a woman is putting a knife in his back. I think he might actually be assassinated, and that is the coffin that I see in front of us. Again, it's a woman. A lot of controversy surrounding this death. Again, I see a woman. I don't know why it's a woman, but a woman has a good deal to do with his death, apparently. She seems like she's actually a fairly powerful woman, but also that she's an agent of some of these powerful plutocrats. She's showing me something. Sort of like the plutocrats are smart enough to know that they better install somebody before he gets too old. Because the transition that's going to happen between Putin and the next guy will be an enormous transition. It'll be a harmful transition, and they'd like something more organized. She is showing me something. I don't know what it is yet. Let's see. What are you showing me? Freezers. Okay. I'm thinking like dead bodies in the freezers. That's what she's showing me, and it's sort of like a lot of plotting is going on. That's what she's telling me. She's like, an enormous amount of plotting is going on right now to change the structure. Let's ask this question. It seems more relevant. Will things get better for Russian people in connection with Putin's demise? Or in any way, will they get better? I do see hope for Russia. There is an escape. Okay, so you're almost like, when I do this work, I see a circle of light coming down, and now I'm seeing that sort of circle of light above the country that is Russia. And it's sort of like clouds, but there's one space of clarity. And I feel like this is just one step. Putin is just one step and towards their sort of a greater evolution, which seems to be a evolution in consciousness. I would say to any Russian out there that, look, you can't necessarily change your government, but you can change yourself. You can change your life. Despite that, through consciousness, through consciously creating your life. And there are some people who are going to start doing that. Look, people, we cannot depend on our governments to do what we need. It has to be a conscious change. It has to be something going on in your insides which makes good things happen. This doesn't mean you're responsible for everything that happens, but it does mean you can kind of change the odds in your favor. Anything else that Russian people need to know? Your spirit is the same. Just your spirituality is the same. Nothing has changed in consciousness just because of the political government that you are under. Your consciousness can still expand in a way, just in a way that's not a political expansion. It's more towards a, as medieval people under a medieval rule, individuals can quietly do spiritual things in their home and with those people who they're connected with still change the environment. Anything else we need to know for Russian people? The writing on the wall. Look, read the writing on the wall. Everything is changing around you. These these people are going to cycle through and there'll be new people in their place. As this is happening, just be very aware of what's happening. And I'm seeing an airplane. I don't know if that's for the average Russian to leave, or is it for some kind of safe escape for Russian oligarchs or something. I'm getting it's the latter. I'm getting that there'll be some prosecution of these Russian oligarchs, and they'll be leaving on a plane or trying to leave on a plane and maybe get stopped. There will be a bit of justice for them, and I should say justice will serve the people of Russia. I'm seeing a heavily weighted scale. Now, it is heavily weighted by gold, so I'm not sure that it will be ideal, but there will be something, some kind of justice, if nothing else, a sort of spiritual justice for these people. Anything else about Russia? There is an escape. The one escape is through consciousness. Changing your consciousness is the one thing that your government can't control. All right. The second question was about the next election and what will Putin do for the next election? Will he try to interfere? So I'm getting yes, he will definitely try to interfere. I'm seeing ballots, and I'm seeing that is where he is going. he's going towards the ballot box, and he's trying to mess up the American ballot box, and he'll do it any way he can. Now, that's not news that we need to know. Actually, no surprise there. The question maybe is more, will he succeed? Putin is looking very serious about this. His expression on his face is not a happy one. He's showing that he's not having much success. I see a ballot, so a small amount of success. And I am seeing Trump right next to him, smiling at Putin's success at changing this. Unfortunately for Trump, it seems like it's very obvious to people that they have worked together in this regard. And that is going to cost him. I see a good deal of protest throughout our nation because of this meddling, and not just meddling that's already happened, meddling that's coming. He will have to take the responsibility for the next election. If anything like this happens, it will be on Trump and those in Congress who have not done their jobs. Let's see, is there anything else? I just see massive protests. I see a lot of people who are really angry about this. I even see, like, major political figures, maybe even conservative players, who are extremely upset by this. And Putin is laughing his head off at at what's happening. Now, understand that this is not our problem. Whether Putin enjoys his day is just not our issue. Our issue is our government and whether we can maintain its democracy. So part of the messages here is like, some of these disasters are supposed to happen. This is the only way that we are going to reform as a country, is if these disasters unfold and people really hit the streets to stop them. And I see a lot of people doing it. I don't know why. I see a big check mark, and I don't know what that check mark means exactly. Can you tell me, Spirit? What does that mean, the check mark? It's like, okay, check that box. You guys, you've done if you want democracy, you got to do these things. One of the boxes is you go protest. And I often see guns at these rallies. I want to encourage everybody who's going to protest to be very, very careful and to keep watch and to have someone be in close contact with the police. I sometimes wonder now, though, if that's not just a message about the NRA, and the NRA is somehow involved in this, and that is it's not serving the NRA. That's created so much uproar and controversy. I just see rooms of Congress of involving this just incredible uproar. It's like I'm getting the message. Never before have we seen such uproar in our nation. Perhaps since the Civil War, we have not seen such a sort of quagmire. And if you think about things that have already happened, I'm just getting the impression that it will be multiplied by 10, and right around the election. Anything else that we need to know about this? So I see some ballots being torn up and destroyed. And I see that has something to do with Trump destroying these ballots. But as with everything, Trump gets caught. And, the torn up ballots are stuck in his pocket when, somebody comes up and says, hey, what is that? When a reporter asks the question, what's going on? And he's flustering and, oh, I don't know. He's shown his hand. This is one of the things that it's just so obvious. And I know many Americans would argue that everything is very, very obvious. But this is just something that It just pushes us over a certain edge so that even a fairly conservative person just can't really deny what he has done. I do see Trump being very frustrated by this, and so I do not think that this will work in his favor. Anything else we need to know about the election? Be advised, be calm, just understand that this is a process. We all have to go through this to learn. We all have to go through this process to get a better government. We have to become active. We have to care. We have to work together with coalitions of people we may not necessarily have had to work for, and this is a very good thing. Whenever you're thinking about this and thinking about our future, it's not all bad. These are all things that we need to learn and grow as a culture. This might be explained as an inevitable thing. The motion has been set a long time before to get us to this point. It's not accidental that we're here. We're here and we're learning a good deal. We're here and we're learning how to work together. We're here and we're learning to make choices, some of them involving right or wrong. Democracy is not a noun. Democracy is a verb. It has to keep active, and it can't survive if it's not active. Americans have been lulled into complacency. They've got a lot of luxury items, a lot of things to distract them. These grandiose events are signals by the universe that we cannot be distracted, that we have to focus on the tasks at hand, and that life is not a passive action. It's a thing that we do. Think of the young activists who are being created right now. They are the future of our government. That's really what's going on, is people are learning, people are getting more and more out of their lives, in a sense, by being active as opposed to passive. And neighbors who never spoke are now speaking. It's not all bad, and that's something we all need to understand. Let's accept that we are learning here and we're moving towards the good, even if it might be frustrating or take longer than we want, or there's a host of people who don't seem to be responding. Understand also that many things are going on under the surface that we don't know. I often see Mitch McConnell's face. That person may be fronting for Trump, but I'm not sure if they're truly doing that. Behind the scenes, I get the impression that they are actually very much against Trump, and they're manipulating the situations in as much as they can, if only for their own self-preservation. Anything else that we need to know about the election? Just do your best to be calm, do your best to be honest, accept that this is a role that we all have to take right now. Don't resent the role. It's important. It's important for your growth. It's important that people show who they really are, whether they're for or against the society that we live in now. America is a pioneering country. I often see this. There's just a wagon, there's people in the wagon, then they're moving to the west. Aside from the implications of what that meant to the indigenous people, always remember that America changes and America moves forward. It's not stuck in totalitarianism as is Putin's government. It's changing, it's evolving, it's happening. And we have more power to change it than we believe. All right, that seems to be it. Thanks so much for watching.